Graduates, Phil Knight, honored guests, faculty, staff, families, and friends, welcome to the 2014 graduation ceremony at Stanford University's Graduate School of Business. What does your graduation signify? As you know, studying at the GSB means so much more than mastering the concepts of management. It is as much about personal transformation. As you sit before us, eager to receive your diplomas, I encourage you to think about how you have changed and grown during your time here. Your graduation today celebrates all that you have done and become, and your readiness to have a dramatic and positive impact on the organizations you will lead, manage, and found, and through those organizations, the communities they serve. What you have accomplished in your time at the GSB, you have not accomplished alone. You have learned and received help and guidance, mentorship and support from many quarters, all of which are represented here today. First, you're sitting shoulder to shoulder with your classmates as you have throughout your time here. Think how much you have learned from one another in squads, clubs, study trips, talk, touchy-feely, or just in quiet conversation together. You have forged bonds that will become lifelong friendships, which will nurture and sustain you in the years ahead. Take a moment to show your appreciation for one another. Sitting behind me on the stage is a group of faculty who represent the more than 200 tenure-line faculty and practitioners who have been your teachers, coaches, mentors, study trip companions, career advisors, and so much more. I would ask the faculty to stand so that your students can show their appreciation. And at various locations throughout the amphitheater are staff from the MBA, MSX, and PhD programs. Without their tireless efforts on your behalf, none of us would be celebrating here today. I ask the staff to stand wherever they are and be recognized. I have left the most important for last. Each of you has been supported by family and friends, as you will throughout your lives. They have provided encouragement, validation, love, and yes, in many cases, financial support too. While we will hand your diplomas to you, you know that in parentheses after your name belong the names of those who have nurtured you and supported you along the way. This is your opportunity to stand and say thank you to your friends and family who are celebrating your mutual accomplishment with you. Most days during your time in the new Night Management Center, you have walked through the town square on your way to or from class and have walked by, around, or through the replica of an athletics track which holds an inscribed quote from Phil Knight. The quote begins, "There comes a time in every life where the past recedes and the future opens. It's that moment when you turn to face the unknown." Stepping out of that athletics track into the GSB are a pair of sneaker prints from a pair of Phil's Nikes. And let's all admit it, in the privacy of this intimate gathering, most of us have, at one time or another, put our own feet into those footprints and stepped into the GSB. I thank you for the myriad ways in which you have stepped into the GSB and enriched it with your presence during your time here. Now you face one of those moments that Phil talks about in the inscription, where the future opens and you turn to face the unknown. And at the end of the stage here today, we have put down another pair of footprints to encourage you all to think about how you will step from the GSB into the future. I have 3 hopes for you as you take that step. First, take a huge stride. At the GSB, we have not just encouraged you to dream, but tried to instill in you the courage to pursue those dreams. We have surrounded you by classmates who can help you to nurture them, and we have provided you with an education that gives you the knowledge and insight to guide you in your quest. We have done this because we think that the biggest problems in the world, whether in education, global poverty, healthcare, the environment, water, governance, or business, are at their core business, leadership, and management challenges. There are big and important challenges, and the world needs change agents who are willing to tackle them with passion and with innovative ideas. Changing lives, organizations, and the world requires that you dream big. Second, walk with confidence. It takes courage to lead and to innovate in order to bring about real change. Don't shy away from living a life of impact and meaning, even if that isn't always the easiest road to walk. Changing lives, organizations, and the world requires not just ambition, but purpose as well. Third, walk together. There is an old African saying which goes, "Walk together, walk far." Stay as tightly connected as you are today and continue to support one another in your aspirations. And come back regularly and stay connected to all of us. Changing lives, organizations, and the world is a team sport. So as you walk off this stage today, diploma in hand, and you step into the future, take a big stride, walk with confidence, and walk together. We are looking forward to following your journeys as you step out of the GSB today. Our graduation speaker today is an alumnus who has not just taken big strides himself, but who has also created the footwear with which to do it. Phil Knight graduated from the Stanford GSB with an MBA in 1962 and went on to co-found Nike with Bill Bowerman, his former running coach, at his undergrad alma mater, the University of Oregon. You may think Phil turned to making shoes instead because he wasn't any good at running in them. Not so. Phil clocked a personal best of 4 minutes, 10 seconds in the mile. Phil is a great guy. And I don't just mean that in the narrow but very impressive sense of someone who co-founded and led one of the most successful, influential, and iconic brands in the world. Phil leads with character. He's a man of integrity who has the courage to speak his mind and who speaks from the heart. I love that about him. Phil is also a thoughtful and generous philanthropist. In addition to providing the lead gift of $105 million to enable the building of the Knight Management Center, and being a great supporter of athletics at the University of Oregon, Phil and his wife Penny last year pledged $500 million in matching funds. That's $500 million. Towards the Knight Cancer Institute at Oregon Health and Science University. All of us, especially those who either personally or in our families have been touched by that terrible disease, thank Phil and Penny for their generosity of spirit and resources. Please join me in giving Phil Knight a warm GSB welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Dean Saloner, graduates, family, friends, faculty, Dean Joss, the Honorable Condoleezza Rice. I'm sorry that R.J. Miller could not be here today. He would be the one person in this gathering that would refer to me as that young man. I graduated from this school in 1962, more than half a century ago. It was a time when jet travel was just beginning with the introduction of the Boeing 707. There was no Silicon Valley per se. There were no fax machines. There was no internet. There were no cell phones, no iPads. The latest technological development was the color TV. There was no such thing as venture capital. The number one company in the world was General Motors. The biggest firm on Wall Street was Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Finner, and Smith. Commercial banks were not allowed to engage in investment banking activities, and there was no birth control pill. There is absolutely nothing in my journey that has any specific application for what awaits you. In so many ways, today's talk could be called Return of the Dinosaur. Why, therefore, before this, the greatest class ever to graduate from this best business school on the planet, why did the dean ask me to be here? And my answer is, I don't really know. But I suppose there may be some hope that parts of my journey might be relevant in attitude and philosophy. I hope so. But why I, a person who intensely dislikes public speaking, chose to accept is perfectly clear to me. The answer is, it is personal. For me, it is a rounding of the circle. There is a part of me that was born here. I had come here at age 22, a bit lost. For me, an extrovert was a person who stared at other people's shoes. Shy, insecure, unsure of what I wanted to do with my life. 2 years later, I left, much better educated. I was still shy and insecure, but I knew what I wanted to do if only I could pull it off. And that was to bring to life the business plan written in Frank Schallenberger's entrepreneurship class. So I returned, 52 years after my own graduation, to this place, this magical place which is an extended part of me. I return to say thank you here where all the aspiration began. In the summer between my first and second year, I'd had a long existential debate with myself, finally concluding that I would, before going to work for 40 years, take 1 year to go around the world, looking for education, for enlightenment, looking for myself. And in the winter term of my second year, I took that entrepreneurship class, whose road led to Japan. So after putting in my required 2 weeks of U.S. Army summer camp at Fort Ord, selling my car, saying bon voyage to parents and sisters, I set out with Gary Carter, who I met when we were both living in Carruthers Hall. In September, we were ready to go. We drove down El Camino to the liquor store that was the ticket agent for Standard Airways, a discount charter airline. For $80, we got on a Convair 880, a prop, of course, leaving from Moffett Field, 8 hours to Hawaii. We would surf in the mornings and sell encyclopedias door to door in the early evening. I am sure I am the only graduate in the history of this school whose first job after graduation was selling encyclopedias. After a month of this, I was ready to go on, but Gary had met a girl he liked a little too much to leave. So now I'm stuck with a decision: go home or not go at all. I loved Japan instantly. The people were friendly, and many parts of the countryside scenic. And the yen was $3.60 to the dollar, so many things were affordable, like hotel rooms and meals and athletic shoes. After a week, I had wound my way to Kobe, which was the headquarters of Onitsuka Company Limited, manufacturer of Tiger athletic shoes, which I had identified as the best quality, the ones with the best chance of getting a piece of the U.S. market. I called on the telephone and explained I was a U.S. businessman in town, and I had an interest in distributing their shoes in the United States. I got an appointment. I donned my one business suit, Brooks Brothers, with a blue Oxford shirt, a black necktie, slipped on my black Bailey loafers, and took a taxi to the wrong location. I couldn't read the signs. I had gone to the showroom. They wanted me at the manufacturing facility completely on the other side of town. So I show up a half hour late. I am already nervous, and even though it was a cool day, I was sweating heavily. I'm met at the door by a 30-ish man, Ken Miyazaki, who greets me warmly and ushers me through to a conference room in the back of the building. On the way to the room, we pass through the accounting department, which has about 20 employees. They all stand up and bow. The big businessman from the U.S., don't you know? My entire assets are on my body. That business suit and my round-the-world airline ticket. It occurred to me that I might not get out of there alive. There are half a dozen Japanese businessmen waiting in the conference room. How does a shy, insecure person make a sales presentation? Sell as if your life depended on it, which it sort of did, didn't it? But I must confess, when I said I sold encyclopedias door to door in Honolulu, it was a little imprecise. I called on houses door to door trying to sell encyclopedias. I never actually closed a sale. After a very awkward beginning, we got into the specifics about what was needed for the U.S. market. The talks warm up and eventually become enthusiastic. They have been thinking about getting into the U.S. market and have several track and field sample models built on patterns of the U.S. foot. They have an all-purpose model they call the limber up. They have a high jump model called the spring up, and a shot discus shoe they call the throw up. I might be able to help them. So we end with me placing an order of 15 pair of samples. And after I leave, I sit alone on a chair in the chaotic Osaka airport and ask myself again, where am I going? I'm very excited about the meeting with Onitsuka, and one part says, this is exactly what I want. I should race home and get this business going. The other said, if you don't go around the world now, you will not go for 4 or 5 decades. I flew to Hong Kong, which is a good thing. The samples didn't arrive for 14 months. When the samples finally came in, I showed them to my old coach, Bill Bowerman, who was so impressed he asked to let him in on the deal. We shook hands on a 50-50 partnership, and each of us put up $500. We bought 300 pair of shoes. First year sales were $8,000. We made a $250 profit. In 1964, my life got busy. By day, I was a CPA for Price Waterhouse. My Army Reserve requirement takes up 2 Tuesday nights a month, and 1 all-day Sunday, plus 2 weeks in the summer. Dating with mixed success, and all the while my real love is that little company that Bowerman and I have started. We get to $100,000 in sales. We get to $500,000, then $1 million. I multitask. I can drive a car, eating McDonald's filet of fish sticks, and reading the newspaper all at the same time. I was pretty efficient for a couple of years until I rear-ended the car in front of me. It took a lot of time to get insurance companies lined up, my own car repaired, and the cuts on my forehead fixed, so I don't do that anymore. By 1972, we got to $2 million in sales with a 3% net profit, but it hadn't been easy. After all, $500 apiece doesn't provide much equity, even for $2 million. I had tossed in most of my Price Waterhouse checks for 4 years, but I was spending 4 days a week at the bank trying to convince them to give us a little more credit. By now, I've quit Price Waterhouse and I'm going full-time. And somewhere in the process, my search for credit put me in touch with Nissho Iwai, the 6th largest Japanese trading company with annual sales of $100 billion. We began developing a positive relationship. Meanwhile, Onitsuka had brought a 32-year-old hotshot, Shoji Katami, with a charge to expand export sales. Export sales were primarily us. So young Mr. Katami brings me the following offer. Sell us 51% of your company at book value, or we'll set up other distributors, regardless of what that piece of paper that we signed says. With Katami's ultimatum, I did an instant cost-benefit analysis, which led me to this dilemma. How do you say go to hell in Japanese? So there I am, 34 years old, married, a 3-year-old son, 80% mortgage on my house, 45 employees, the personal guarantee of the $750,000 company loan, inventory going more obsolete by the day, and no new product to sell. We had a team that had been nothing 8 years before and built it up to become recognized in the sporting goods world. And that team had designed the 3 top-selling Tiger running shoes. We had a large pot of coffee and the support of the 6th largest Japanese trading company. And that trading company could and did introduce us to every shoe factory in Japan and provided the financing to import those products. But then there was the little matter of the lawsuits, plural, one in the US, one in Japan. I get my cousin, Doug Hauser, Stanford Law, 1960, to take our case on a contingent fee. It took 3 years. We won both suits. Meanwhile, we paid $35 to a graphic arts student at Portland State College to give a rendition of the side logo on the shoe, the logo now called the swoosh. Years later, she was interviewed by the Portland Oregonian and asked her what her second biggest project was. She answered, wallpaper for a Walla Walla motel. We had each of the 45 employees submit a suggestion for a brand name. Jeff Johnson, 1963 Stanford graduate, who I had met on a workout at Angel Field and who was our first employee, submitted the name Nike. Well, I said, I don't really like it that much, but it's better than any of the other 44, and hopefully it will grow on us. We were no longer limited to track and field shoes, so we brought in wrestling shoes, tennis shoes, basketball shoes as well. And sales grew to $3.2 million, but we had our first ever loss, plus one other little problem. We got kicked out of our bank. Too much leverage, not enough cash. The state of Oregon only had 2 big banks, and we'd been thrown out of the other one 2 years before. Nissho Iwai stood in for the bank until we found one, the First State Bank of Milwaukee, Oregon. A small bank, but we made it work. So there I was, sitting at my desk, more relaxed than any time in more than a decade. In the period between getting cut off by Tiger and establishing a banking relationship with the First State Bank of Milwaukee, Oregon, sales, mainly through the introduction of the running shoe with a waffle sole, had risen to $25 million with solid profitability. Oh yes. But at the top of the morning mail, letterhead said, United States Customs. The announcement that this is an important letter. It turned out to be so. Attached was an invoice for past due customs duties of $25 million. The exact same number as our total sales for the year. I had no idea what they were talking about. So what we find out is there's a little used part of the customs code dating back to the 1930s. Duty in 3 categories: benzodrine chemicals, cherry stone clams, and athletic footwear with synthetic uppers could be assessed not the factory cost of the goods, but on the American wholesale selling price of those goods, if in fact goods were like or similar, if you like that language, to American manufactured goods. So here comes this invoice. And in spite of the fact that we've been charged and paid the amounts that we'd been invoiced for previously, our prices had been based on that and long ago been sold. The $25 million was on top of that. Well, things were fuzzy and unclear. One thing was absolutely certain. No way we were going to be able to pay that amount of money. So I go to Washington, D.C., reaching as high up in the political ladder as I can. When first contemplating imported nylon upper running shoes, we had asked Customs for a ruling on what the duty would be. When shown the letter signed by the Assistant Director of Customs stating our duty would be 20% of the factory cost, not the double that we were being assessed, the response of John P. Simpson, Deputy Assistant Secretary, well, that letter is not binding on U.S. Customs. In other words, we lied to you, you screwed up, you trusted us. And gradually we began to figure it out. This obscure rule had been on the books for nearly half a century, and now U.S. shoe manufacturers, Converse and others, banded together to lobby the government to apply the extra duty on athletic shoe imports in general and us in particular. They had to make something that met the test of a customs officer who likely had never worked in a shoe factory, as in like or similar. And they then had to sell only a few of those shoes to hugely increase the cost of our shoes going forward if in fact the retroactive part didn't put us out of business, which it nearly did. Thus began the great ASP fight, a fight for our very lives. It lasted 3 years. I am in the sneaker business, and I've got to have a Washington, D.C. lobbyist. Most lobbying firms on K Street were more than willing to take our case for a fee of $1,000 an hour. We hired Jay Edwards, Stanford 68. He had just opened an office representing Portland General Electric, the Oregon Public Utility, and the Nez Perce Indians. And now, for a retainer of $300 a month, us. Any, over, around, and through. We fought like bastards. Our cause was just, the government was aligned with the forces of evil, and if we lost, we were kaput. But I believe that fight made a huge imprint on our culture, which lasts to this day. We joined the American footwear manufacturers and then sued them. We made an inflammatory TV commercial, which ended with the tagline, "If this little shoe company goes out of business, a little bit of Yankee freedom dies with us." No reputable TV network or channel would show it. We got on the air on a New England religious channel between 12 and 1 in the morning. It generated 3 letters, all of them positive. That having failed, we took a portable TV set showing the ad during the presidential campaign of 1976, showing it in cafeterias, diners, and pizza parlors all over New Hampshire. And that managed to get the attention of the political establishment at least a little bit. And there was lots of shoe leather in D.C., including plenty of my own. We had support from the Oregon delegation, plus Al Gore and Jim Sasser of Tennessee, where we had our central warehouse. In one of our meetings at Treasury, the official said, "You can tell your Senator Hatfield to quit calling. It's not doing you any good." I left his office and called Mark Heidfeld's office and said, "Keep up the good work." Our one in-house lawyer, Rich Worskell, Stanford 68, lived for 2 years in Washington, D.C. He and Jay Edwards simply outworked, outthought, out-emotioned the opposition and did a better job in this case than any of those K Street lawyers would have. And perhaps our best maneuver, we came up with this one. We had a factory in Exeter, New Hampshire, making 15,000 pair a month. What if we created a second line, knocked off ourselves, selling to discounters a very low but marginally profitable price? No one could copy us closer than we could copy ourselves. When this first came up in a brainstorming session, everybody laughed at its absurdity. But then we looked at each other. The whole law was absurd. And it evolved into, eventually, let's try it. Thus was born the one line, which over a couple years sold a couple thousand pairs and reduced the increase in our duties by 2/3. And after 3 years of fighting, we settled the great ASP customs battle for $9 million, approximately one-third of the former demand. And in those 3 years, our sales had grown to $140 million, and we could actually pay the bill. 1 year after the settlement, we got ASP eliminated from the entire U.S. Customs Code for benzodine chemicals and cherry stone clams, as well as footwear with synthetic uppers. While we had reached the critical mass to go public, all during the ASP years, we could not go public because we could not accurately report earnings, which were very materially affected by the ultimate ASP resolution. With the resolution of ASP, a public offering was open to us. And in December 1980, we did just that. And from that point, the only thing standing in the way of real success, of having our dreams come true, was ourselves. I don't really like lessons learned type lectures, but there have been a few along the way. And on this special occasion, I can't help myself. Indulge me, I'll not be doing this again. The goal should not be to seek a job or even a career, but to seek a calling. That search has just begun. Now that you have graduated, the goal should not be to seek a job or even a career, but you should be to seek a calling. In your time here, you've probably gone through 50 or 100 different case studies. And in the years ahead, you'll probably go through thousands more. Those case studies are not about decision-making, not even about judgment. They're about a search for wisdom. I have in my travels occasionally met promising young people who insist they are not going to ask for help along the way. They want to figure it out themselves. Mine was the opposite approach. It is hard enough out there. Get all the help you can. Getting help really is just a part of a lifelong search for wisdom. Here are just a few of the people who stooped to help us along the way. And all but one of the following began their help before we were ever a public company. Chuck Robinson, Deputy Secretary of State to Henry Kissinger. Jill Conway, President of Smith College. Dick Donahue, at 28 years old, the Congressional Liaison for John Kennedy. Ralph D'Annunzio, President of the New York Stock Exchange. Tom Paine, the Executive Director of NASA. Masaru Hayami, the President of Nisho Iwai. As we increased our volume, we became Nisho Iwai's most profitable customer in the world, which got me into meetings with their CEO. We developed a friendship, and for 5 years in a row, I spent a weekend with him and his wife at their beach cabin near Atami, which wasn't just a pleasant weekend, it was also a tutorial on business and leadership. 2 years after he stepped down from Nisho, Masaru Hayami was named the governor of the Bank of Japan, which is the Federal Reserve of Japan. When he passed away, at his memorial service in Tokyo, per his instructions, draped over his coffin was a Nike banner. And don't be afraid to come back to the school that spawned you. Frank Schellenberger always raised my spirits when I was feeling low and wanted to get a hold of him. Bob Davis and Mike Spence each spent 10 years on the Nike board of directors. And there are a couple other lessons. 2 9s working together will beat 2 10s working for their own careers every time. Ability and desire must always trump money and power. If you can't get financing, don't be afraid to go 7,000 miles from home. Government is part of business, any business. There is such a thing as managing creativity, and dare to take chances, lest you leave your talent buried in the ground. And where there is no struggle, there can be no art. And finally, there is this thought. 10 years from now, the first of you will be asked to give the commencement speech to what will then be the finest class in the school's history. You'll be a bit torn. You are multitasked to the max. 2 kids. One has an ear infection and needs to get to the doctor right away. Your husband is more needy than usual, and he has a flight in the morning to Europe for 10 days. Your company is at a critical point in its strategic planning, and everybody looks to you for what the answers will be. Plus, the company has a PR crisis, and you have TV appearances scheduled for 5 days straight. And that golden lab you had for 2 years has all of a sudden decided it's not housebroken. There is no time. There is no time. And then you'll accept. Because of the honor, because of the chance to have some influence on the most able, best prepared young people on the planet. And you will accept, though it is hard to see now, because there is a part of you that longs to go back to a place and a time and a self forever gone. And looking for things to say, include in your consideration moments from the school's history. You might even look back to that time from the deep past, that moment over 6 decades before, when Frank Schellenberger, beloved professor of entrepreneurship, said the words that meant so much to me, the words that became the mantra for his class, the words that said, "The only time you must not fail is the last time you try."
Thank you, Phil, for those inspiring and, dare I say, most memorable words. We thank you for all that you've done for the school over the years. It is now my great honor and pleasure to introduce you to the GSB PhD class of 2014. Our PhD program is small and exclusive, with an admission rate well under 10%. These individuals that are about to come before you come here as students, dedicating themselves to 2 or 3 years of coursework and an intensive apprenticeship in conducting research in their chosen fields. Having become true experts, they leave us as colleagues, setting out on a path to create new knowledge. Today, we formally celebrate their transition from students to future intellectual leaders who will play an important role in shaping our understanding of business and management. After their advisors place the hood of the Stanford Business School on them, they will join us on stage as we welcome them into our profession as colleagues.
Omer Attar. Lynn William Tsong. Sunasir Indra Datta. Joel Go. Brianna Cardiff Hicks. Dmitry Orlov. Tally Reich. Sinit Wittawasari.
The Master of Arts in Business Research recognizes the accomplishments of students who have completed the coursework and fulfilled the research requirements of the master's degree, and thus have become domain experts, but who are not continuing on to do the further work required for the PhD degree. This year's candidate for Master of Arts in Business Research is Aaron Lee.
So this year marks the 42nd class of students who graduate with a certificate in public management and social innovation. Founded by Dean Emeritus R.J. Miller, the certificate program educates leaders committed to social and environmental change. Today's graduates earning the certificate really do embody the spirit of our motto, change lives, change organizations, change the world. These students have already shown their commitment using management skills to alleviate global social problems. For example, they participated in a wide range of social innovation courses covering topics such as social enterprise, healthcare innovation, the business of education, business at the bottom of the pyramid, and sustainable energy markets. They explored roles with high social impact, such as board governance, impact investing, and philanthropy. They traveled on social innovation study trips to places like Argentina, Brazil, Cambodia, Vietnam, India, Kenya, and Nepal, among others, to see for themselves what is being done to address extreme poverty, urban migration, sustainability, and more. Some of these students have developed their own social enterprise and are ready to launch right after graduation. I am proud to tell you that this year we have 99 recipients of the Certificate in Public Management and Social Innovation. Their names are listed in the commencement program. I now ask those 99 students to stand. And I would like us to recognize them for completing a formal course of study in the management of public, nonprofit, social venture organizations, in addition to earning their MBA and MSX degrees. Congratulations.
Good afternoon on this festive day. It is now my pleasure, as director of the Stanford MSX program, to present this year's graduates who will receive the degree of Master of Science in Management. The mission of the MSX program is to provide experienced leaders, men and women who have already spent at least 8 years in professional and management roles, the opportunity to prepare themselves for increasingly senior positions in the organizations they lead. The program is a full-time, year-long course of academic study. While studying at Stanford, these students carry the title of Sloan Fellows. This year's 83 fellows came to Stanford from across the United States and 30 additional countries. Most fellows have families that join them for the year. Many are sponsored by their employers. Others are self-sponsored and include those who will create innovative new enterprises after graduation. Having completed all the academic requirements of the program, this year's fellows will now join the worldwide family of GSB alumni. On behalf of the administration of the program and the faculty who have taught them, join me in wishing each of them great fulfillment and success in the next phase of their careers. I will now read their names while Dean Saloner and Professor George Parker present the diplomas. Azra Maxwell Azaham. Ki Young Min Bong. Peter Sewell Blank. Chris Baugiano. Jonathan Matthew Baugiano. Nicola Boyd. Flora Coranya Ribayo Karamaski. Marcelo Setubal Karamaski. Greg Carico. Mei Yuchia Chang. Rajat Chaturvedi. Min Chen. Gyangbo Cheng. Bruce Choi. Alexi Deng. Narambatar Dashdorj. Pedro Drummond. Hazem El-Hagrassi. Tatiana Yestyevneva. Alonzo Franco. Yanling Fu. Edmundo Fuentes. Santiago Garcia Martinez. Antonio Garcia Sansicar. Yifan Go. Jun Jun Ha. John Holding. Kwang Hui Hao. Victor Huang. Ricardo Ibarra Garcia Parra. Anatoly Ignatusha. Adnan Rasul Iqbal. Dr. Mary Therese Jacobson. Bharat Kamachotaros. Fadi Karam. Sung Woo Kim. Masato Kimura. Adi Korinati. Cyril Labidi. Igor Lureau. Li Ming Lee. Sunny Liu. Mary McPherson. David Massant. Jonathan McKeever. Naoki Mizoguchi. Aswath Mohan. Eric Moon. Charles Jason Christopher Moran. Michelle Lynn Morris. Ivo Mosca. Rob Nagel. Ritu Narayan. Anastasia Onegina. Felipe Ortiz Oregua. Arturo Palma Matatich. Teresa Lingyun Pan. Amit Sunil Panda. Sungmin Park. Pedro Pubil. Saulo Ribeiro. Paula Rosen. Ankur Sharma. Anu Sharma. Svetlana Shmikova. Douglas Silva. Siddhartha Shekhar. Avinash Sood. Randy Sternke. Ram Subramanian. Tan Kok Yam. Dr. Num Tantu Wanit. Bruno Teixeira. Wing Han Edward To. Jin Tomioka. Jirud Tuck. Aulani Wilhelm. Eric Whitrick. Vanessa Shi. Kunal Yadav. Kichao Yang. Chi Lung Yu.
Distinguished guests, faculty, staff, family, and friends, the MBA students gathered before us today achieved great distinction 2 years ago. They successfully navigated our extremely competitive admissions process, right? Since then, they have acquired solid foundations in general management. Laughing. And have pursued deeper study in their areas of interest. They've engaged in personal growth and built relationships that will last a lifetime. They have helped the school and the community in many extremely valuable ways. They are an impressive group and are ready and worthy to join the ranks of our illustrious alumni. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great honor and privilege to present to you the Stanford MBA class of 2014. You are the 89th MBA graduating class at the Stanford GSB, and to echo what Phil Knight said, in my somewhat biased opinion, the best class yet. So as you leave to lead lives of impact and meaning, I fully expect that your accomplishments at Stanford will pale in comparison to your future achievements. But I hope your memories of the GSB will remain fresh and that you'll continue to be involved with the school. Our alumni played an important role in your academic experience. ranging from being judges during Executive Challenge to coming back to be your lecturers in entrepreneurial courses. It is my wish that you too will engage with the GSB as alumni and give your time and experience generously to future classes. Your class has already demonstrated its desire to stay connected to the GSB and to support the school in a meaningful way through your participation in the class gift program. I must recognize the extraordinary result of over 94% of you pledging to give back to the GSB. We plan to make house calls to the other 6% very soon, okay? So you will leave your own legacy and play a part in bringing the GSB experience to future generations, as other alumni have done before you. At this time, I'd like to ask the Arbuckle Leadership Fellows to stand. The Arbuckle Leadership Fellows Program, keep standing, plays an integral role in our leadership curriculum by bringing together a group of talented second-year students to support the leadership development of the MBA 1 class. On behalf of the GSB, I thank these 68 students for their tireless work, their extraordinary dedication to their MBA 1 squads and coaches, and for inspiring an unprecedented number of first-year students to seek out this unique leadership opportunity. They are a role model for student leadership at its best. Please join me in another round of applause for this remarkable group of students. I'd now like to ask the student leaders of the Global Study Trips, the Social Innovation Study Trips, and the Stanford Tsinghua Exchange Program to stand. These 95 outstanding student leaders partnered with the school on a critical component of the GSB education, the global experience requirement. They served as peer educators for over 600 students, traveling to 21 countries, discovering how business skills are relevant in myriad industries and institutions, and proving what our faculty teach them, which is that different countries are different. Okay? For their ambassadorship of the GSB and their indelible impact on the students they led, we thank them. Please join me again in a round of applause for these students. Okay? Thank you. I would also like to now acknowledge one of the faculty sitting here. Any of you who took base financial accounting had Ann Bayer as your instructor. Okay? So as you know, Ann Bayer won the MBA Distinguished Teaching Award last year. At commencement tomorrow, she is receiving the Walter Gores Award for Excellence in Teaching, which is the highest award for teaching at Stanford University. In the next few minutes, we will begin reading the names of the graduates in alphabetical order, and we'll invite them forward to receive their diploma. Names will be read by Derek Bolton, Assistant Dean for MBA Admissions, the person who brought you here, and Margaret Hayes, Assistant Dean of the MBA program, the person who's making sure you leave on time. Okay? Graduates will receive their diplomas from Dean Gart-Saloner. So all of you here have undoubtedly heard of R.J. Miller, whom Phil alluded to, and Glenn as well. It's my impression that many of the graduating MBAs consider themselves friends of R.J. Miller. Okay? So R.J. served in the U.S. Air Force during the Second World War and was later one of the so-called whiz kids who joined Ford Motor Company and revolutionized it. And R.J. rose to become president of Ford, and then was the much-admired fourth dean of the GSB from 1968 to 78. His sterling leadership of the school is legendary, and in honor of Dean R.J. Miller's service, the top 10% of the graduating class, ranked by academic performance, are designated R.J. Miller Scholars. So as we read the names of the graduates, we will announce if they have achieved the distinction of R.J. Miller Scholar. We will also acknowledge students in the top 10% of the class who are in joint degree programs and so will be graduating in subsequent years. So with that, Margie and Derek, could you begin?
Katrin Absher. Hannah Lucia Adania, R.J. Miller Scholar. Barbara Wande Efolabi. Adil Agarwal. Basil Ahmed. Khalid Al-Amri. Amna Al-Qasimi. Opiolua Alade Como. Fad Al-Ajlan. Bruno Alberti. Manuel Alaman Brizuela. Natalia Alfonso. Danielle Maria Allen. Alvaro Javier Allende Vilant. Aurelia Alvarado. Kadir Anamale. Alexander Austin. Danielle Otrique Achevesta. Eduardo Fernandez Bahia Bayer. Zach Baraz. Matthew Bauman. Catherine Bechtel. Adrienne Bejarano. Luca Beltrami. Christina Bergquist. Basil Berry. Jacob Best, R.J. Miller Scholar. Faze Banji. Nikhil Jayanth Bhatt, R.J. Miller Scholar. Troy Michael Beneman. Kevin L. Bieringer. Nir Bloomberger. Dhruv Badupalli. Bradford Ludwig Bonney. Carter Bowen. Amanda Pearl Louise Bradford. Peter Demkar Brandt. William Stewart Broadbent, Jr. Carlos Cabrera, R.J. Miller Scholar. Sejken Chalun. Paul William Campbell. Alexandra Carroll. Saul Michael Carlin. Stephanie Ann Carr. Javier Castillo. Jonathan Casto. Horace Jury Calkins V. Jonathan Cavallaro. Laura Cervantes. Hirsch Shamria. Cheryl Chan. Neha Chauhan. Fernando Chavira. Monica Alexandra Chellam. Daniel Chen. Ivan Chen. Paul Chen. James Shervack. Chi-Yu Chen. Ruchi Chowdhury. Anna Louise Christie. Pierre-Jean Kobu. Malcolm Collins. Lauren Michelle Connolly. Zoe Corneely, R.J. Miller Scholar. Candace Kelleher Corvetti, R.J. Miller Scholar. Philippe Cosmelli. Patrick Coughlin. Robert Sayer Craig. Carl Cummings, R.J. Miller Scholar. Maya Dadu. Virla Danan. J.C. Danilovich. Michelle Dawood. Gayatri Shrikant Datar, R.J. Miller Scholar. Alexandra Farrell Day. Dr. Lucas Antoine Debrade. Andre Charles Derhaze. David DiCarlo, R.J. Miller Scholar. William Barnett Deitch, R.J. Miller Scholar. Sal Donani. Rodney B. Dial II. Gabriel Victor Dobbs. Kristen Dobson. Natalie Domond. Courtney Dong. Johnny Dorsey. Brendan Dowdle. TJ Duane, R.J. Miller Scholar. Brian Lee Robles Dunlap. Catherine Elkin. Audrey Ellis. Paul Davis Emery, R.J. Miller Scholar. Emre Erton. Noga Eshed Baror. Gareth Davidson Evans, R.J. Miller Scholar. Amanda Elizabeth Fassell. Zujan Fan Andy. Albert Farah Gaubernet.
Elad Ferber. Giannis Fingberg. Alexandra Fisher. Mary Catherine Flanagan. Hillary Fleischer. Abigail Caitlin Flora. Nick Franchot. Orly Diane Friedman. Daniel Frisk. Oren Benjamin Katzberg Gabriel. Andrew Michael Gaines. William Galvin. Ambrose Glenn Gano. Luther Gatewood, R.J. Miller Scholar. Ga Eong. Quayle George. Prajal Gatak. Clint Gillum. Muhesh Goganani. Anthony E. Gonzalez. Mariana Gonzalez Ariza. Maria Gonzalez Blanche. Matthew Goslin. Jacqueline Lee Grant. Elliot Alpert Greenwald. Louis William Gresham. Steve Grossman, R.J. Miller Scholar. Eduardo Güemes Hidalgo. Aditi Gupta. Anant Gupta. Sachin Gupta. Brian Benjamin Gerwitz. Raul Gutierrez Duran. Nader Haddad. Caleb Hafiz. Matthew Hale. Hannah Hale Redfern. Amanda Buell Hall. Prudence Nicole Hallerman. Rawad Holloway. Thomas James Hand. Brenna Marie Hanley. Cynthia Humika Hardy. Allison Heck, R.J. Miller Scholar. Gillian Veronica Heltai. Javier Hernandez. Simone Hill. Julian Hinderling. Michael Kramer Hoffman. Michael Hull. Wakana Honda. Junji Hoshino. Carolyn Stiles Hostetter. Mitchell Scott Houff. Tim Shaw. Scott Haga Hughes, R.J. Miller Scholar. Jun Ho Wang. Jared Hyatt. Donna Avery. Evan Henry Jacobs, R.J. Miller Scholar. Shelley Jacobson. Ernest Alexander Jacquet. Andrew Miller James, R.J. Miller Scholar. Erica Giannini. Brian Jansen. Ross Kyle Jensen. Benjamin Jensen. Philip John. Alfred I. Johnson. Barrett Allison Johnson, R.J. Miller Scholar. Courtney Ann Johnson. Corey Jones. Jennifer Patricia Jordan. Sarah Joyce. Guzzle Kalra. Brian Thomas Kennard, R.J. Miller Scholar. Kingsley J.R. Cano. Arjun Kapoor. Robert Katz. Lauren Alexandra Keene. Christina Rigsby Kaiser. Kristen Michelle Kelly, R.J. Miller Scholar. Alex Kelston. Charmaine Kinney. Brendan Kariakis. Chunsu Kim. Sam Kentz. John Ryan Kissick. Lauren Kolodny. Kevin Coy. Steve Coyers, R.J. Miller Scholar. Marina Koschachenko. Pete Koziol. Adam Craneson. Puneet Kumar Mundara, R.J. Miller Scholar. Sylvia Cuyel. Christopher Kwok. Ryan Gregory Lanfer. Brian Leonard Latko.
Christine Adelaide Lee. Shenha Lee. Alex Lerner. Jason Lane Levy. Vincent Christopher Gaudiani Lay. Rosa Lee. Marina Liban. Allison Chang J. Lin. Johnny Puohan Lin. Sean Lin. Susan Lin. Scott Richard Littlefield. Gilberto Kenneth Lopez. Brian Quinn Lovett. Jessica Liu. Olivia Lyman. Jamie Bergeson Lyon. Andre Macedo. Joao Macedo. Troy Douglas Madeley Jr. Aiden Madigan Curtis. Sabrina Celia Egan Manville. Shinkei Mao. Gonzalo Margain. Patrick Martinchek. Kendra Mason. Patricia Lee Mason. Arun M. Matthew. Adam Mazur. Julian McCarty. Awara Mendy. Bryce William Meridig, R.J. Miller Scholar. Daniel Metrikin. Megan Danielle Meyer. Judah Milunsky. Matthew William Moe, top 10% of current class. Ferris Ali Mohudin, R.J. Miller Scholar. Michael Molinet. David Monteith. Guy Mordecai. Caleb Baranoff Morse. Janine Nina Morton, R.J. Miller Scholar. Jason Mothersill. Gregory Joseph Mulholland. Tamara Whitaker Mullings. Diane Na. Khalid Nazif. Dennis Negron. Sasha Marie Nelson. Brent Newhouse. Eric Newsenow. Paloma Ochi. Shannon Beth O'Donnell. Devin O'Fallon. Amanda Olson. Joseph Onofrio. Kadka Oposkenska. Javier Orellana. Mariano Xavier Otero. Mehdi Udguri. Kyle Ozawa. Federica Padilla Sada. Bowen Pan. Ivo Parashkivov. Ray Parcione. Oscar Bennett Pate, R.J. Miller Scholar. Amit Patel. Ryan Patrick Payne. Silvio Pelas Martinez, R.J. Miller Scholar. Gil Peleg. Stephanie Peng. Arun Penmetsa. Elena Perez. Terry Perez. Sean Phillips. Alex Parashin. Rachel Power. Juliana Prado Barbosa. Surisha Pratipati. Tyler Graham Price. Cindy Prieto. Maria Puron. Colin Patrick Quinn. Katie Raffanelli. Ted Reno. Juan Pablo Ramos. Sana Maria Rapaco. Jonas Rava, R.J. Miller Scholar. Robert Davis Ravnus. Naima Thasneem Raza. Luke Donald Redfern. Joao Reis. Nafisa Remtilla. John Richter. Douglas James Rickett. Nicholas Robin. Haley Robison. Pedro Rocha. Brian J. Rose, R.J. Miller Scholar.
David Rose. David James Rosenthal. Claudia Jueg. Daniel Sack. Altaf Sayed. Hiroshi Sakata. Omar Tariq Mohammed Ali Saleh. Vasily Samolis. Bo Santi Sotam. Jacob Harrison Saper, top 10% of the current class. Vivek Saraswath. Tom Sayer, top 10% of the current class. David Shore, R.J. Miller Scholar. Michael Daniel Shore. Brett Sewell. Mara Segeti. Patricio Servite. Michael Gregory Scharf. Kiana Sharifi. Jonathan Jasper Sherman Presser, R.J. Miller Scholar. Michael Bruce Shore II. Zipo Sikakani. Neha Singh. Lauren Elizabeth Smith. Ryan Lee Smith. Jason Saul. Adam Alexi Solomon. Alexander Hartman Soy. Shauna Lee Sopko. Geisha Spiller. Derek John Stace-Naughton. Benjamin Stansel. Kirsten Leah Stasio. Sebastian Steinhauser. Louis Stern. Allison Clark Stoloff. Lucas Strozek, R.J. Miller Scholar. Desiree Strozier. Paul Strozier. Christine Sue. Camila Tabit. Joshua Tikel. Yuta Takanashi. Atip Tantivorawang. Alex James Tarzi, R.J. Miller Scholar. Guy Tellys. Kristen Thayer. Lindsay Zenya Ting. Stefano Tissino. Ryan Tong. Oluwadara Johnson Trasida. Nicholas Ryan Trutanik. Lillian Tsai. Eric Sitzilin. Sophie Terrell. Ting Ting Tursky. Colin Stephen Toomey, R.J. Miller Scholar. Eranimo Alberto Uribe Moreno. Peter Dale Varellas. Sebastian von Remois. Roberto Vota. Neha Vyas. Colin Douglas Wallace. Maggie Wallace. Waining Wong. Yi Wong. Kathleen Wark. Melissa Sue Ann Webb. Jesse Wedler. Michael Scott Wirt. Rebecca Page White. Ingo Vigant, top 10% of the current class. Edward Wilkinson. Brent David Wilson. Luba Wolf, R.J. Miller Scholar. Benjamin Wright. Kelly Wright. James Jianwei Sheng. Andrew Yaffe. Vincent Yang. Maya Nyavna. Siva Yelamaraju. Neha Leila Yellerkar. Anita Hong Han Yu. Charles Young. Rainey Yi Yu. Nicholas Zakrasik. Samuel Boris Zatz. Fernando Zavala Guzman. James Zhao. Simon Xianming Zhe. Masha Zoloto Krylina. Danielle Zonenshane. Sally Zoe.
Congratulations again to the class of 2014. It's now my pleasure to introduce the presentation of awards. Margaret Hayes will present the Arbuckle Award, followed by Madhav Rajan, who will present the Robichek Award and the Ford Scholar.
The Ernest C. Arbuckle Award is presented to a second-year MBA student who is nominated and chosen by his or her peers. The recipient, by his or her active participation, initiative, leadership, and personal integrity, is seen as having contributed most to the fulfillment of the goals of the Graduate School of Business, both within school and society at large. Classmates describe this year's award recipient as someone who went above and beyond to ensure the GSB experience in both the academic and extracurricular realms was positive for everyone. One of you wrote, This person has, time and again, demonstrated a commitment to the values and goals of the GSB. In the classroom, this person is an active participant, always prepared and never hesitant to chime in with a smart question or comment. Some of you mentioned that this person has helped you understand concepts and prepare for exams. Outside of the classroom, this person has shined and has probably coordinated more events than anyone else in our class. A number of classmates describe this person as a kind and committed friend with a caring heart and tremendous integrity. One of you wrote, "She will always stop to say hi, seems to have a nickname for everyone, and doesn't go out of his or her way to help a friend, classmate, staff member, faculty, or anyone who happens to be walking around campus." You wrote that this person exemplifies the GSB spirit by being one of the most engaged and hardest working members of your class. This person served as an Arbuckle Fellow, Leadership Fellow, on the C4C Weekend Committee, and as co-president of GSB Gives Back, and co-chair of the Charity Auction and White Party. In addition, hosted many informal social gatherings for the entire body, the student body. I am delighted to present this year's Arbuckle Award to Peter Varellas. Congratulations, Peter. Come on up.
The Alexander Robichek Student Achievement Award in Finance was established to honor Professor Robichek's outstanding contribution to the teaching of finance at the Stanford Graduate School of Business from 1960 till his death in 1978. The award is given to an MBA student selected by the finance faculty for outstanding achievement in finance courses. The recipient gets the award and also has his or her name engraved on a plaque at the GSB. I'm delighted that this year's recipient is someone who has not only excelled in the study of finance, but has also contributed to the broader academic environment at the GSB by serving as a member of the academic committee. The 2014 Robichek Award winner is Dave Schor. Among the R.J. Miller scholars, one student's academic achievement places him or her at the top of the class. This student is designated as the Henry Ford II Scholar and receives, along with the Miller Scholar Scroll, a substantial cash award. We are a business school after all, they say. The recipient's name is also engraved on a plaque on permanent display at the GSB. The 2014 Henry Ford Scholar is Brian Rose.
Can we have one more rousing round of applause for all of the graduates? That concludes the 2014 Stanford Graduate School of Business graduation ceremony. Thank you all for coming and making this a very special day. I invite all of you to join us now for receptions for each group of graduates at the Night Management Center, as noted in your program. Finally, please join me in a final round of applause and thanks for our guest speaker, Phil Knight.